two innocent girls, were standing in the middle of a dusty Wild West town, their hands tied, their eyes filled with fear, and the entire crowd just watched silently, as if this was normal, as if nothing was wrong, as if humanity itself had slowly disappeared from this place. The sun burned above Red Hollow, a town where law had died long ago, and fear had taken its place, where people survived not by courage, but by silence. A wooden platform stood at the center, cracked with age, stained with stories no one dared to remember. And on it, the auction had begun. A man in a black coat stepped forward, his boots echoing against the dry wood, each step heavy, controlled, dominant. His smile was cold, empty, cruel, the kind of smile that had never known mercy. His name was Victor Kane, and in this town, he didn't just control business, he controlled people. Their lives, their choices, even their silence. "Who bids first?" he shouted, his voice cutting through the air like a blade, sharp, commanding, unforgiving. The girls trembled. One tried to step back, but the rope pulled her forward again, forcing her into the light, forcing her into a nightmare she couldn't escape. "Please," she whispered, her voice shaking, breaking, disappearing before it even reached anyone's heart. But no one moved, no one helped, no one even met her eyes, because everyone knew. Standing against Victor meant death, slow, painful, unforgettable. A few men lowered their heads, shame creeping into their expressions. But shame was not enough, and courage was nowhere to be found. This wasn't the first time, and deep inside, everyone knew it wouldn't be the last. The town had accepted its fate, accepted its fear, accepted its chains. Then suddenly, the sound of hooves broke the silence. Slow, steady, deliberate, like a warning echoing across the ground. Heads turned, whispers stopped, hearts skipped. A horse stopped at the edge of the crowd. Dust rose gently around its legs, as if even the earth itself was watching. A man stepped down. He didn't rush. He didn't hesitate. He didn't look around for approval. He simply walked, straight toward the platform. Calm, controlled, unstoppable. His coat was worn, carrying the weight of many roads. His hat pulled low, hiding his face, hiding his past, hiding something no one could read. People moved aside without being asked, not out of respect, but out of instinct, because something about him felt wrong, not evil, but dangerous, like a storm waiting to break. Victor noticed him immediately, and a smirk appeared on his face. "You here to buy?" he said mockingly. The man didn't answer, not immediately. Instead, he looked at the girls, really looked at them, as if seeing more than just their fear, as if seeing something from his own past reflected in their eyes. Something changed in his expression, something deeper than anger, something heavier than pity. Then finally he spoke. Quiet, calm, but sharp enough to cut through the entire town. "Untie them." The crowd froze. A ripple of tension spread instantly. Some stepped back. Others held their breath, because they knew this moment was different. Victor laughed loudly, but this time it felt forced. "You must be new here," he said, stepping closer, trying to reclaim control, trying to hide the flicker of doubt growing inside him. Or stupid. The man slowly lifted his head, and for the first time, his eyes were visible, cold, steady, fearless, but also tired, like someone who had seen too much, lost too much, and had nothing left to fear. "Last chance," he said. The air became heavy, suffocating, like the moment before a storm explodes. Victor's smile faded, just slightly, just enough to reveal something new, something rare. Uncertainty. Then he snapped his fingers. 4 armed men stepped forward, confident, ready, unaware that they were already too late. Guns were raised, fingers tightened. The crowd stepped back, bracing for what they believed was inevitable. Another body. Another lesson. Another reminder that no one escapes Victor Kane. But they were wrong, because before anyone could react, the stranger moved fast, not fast like a man, fast like instinct, like survival itself had taken control. Gunshots shattered the silence. 1, 2, 3, 4. Each shot perfect, each movement precise, each second controlled. Bodies dropped before the echoes even faded. Dust settled slowly, like the town itself was trying to process what had just happened. Silence returned, but this time it was different, heavier, louder. Victor stepped back, his confidence gone, completely gone, replaced with something he had never shown before. Fear, real fear. "Who are you?" he whispered, his voice no longer strong, no longer in control, then answered in a tone colder than the desert night. "The man you should have feared." Victor didn't wait. He turned and ran, disappearing into the narrow streets, leaving behind everything he once controlled. The stranger didn't chase him. Not yet, because this wasn't over. Not even close. He stepped onto the platform, his movements slower now, calmer, as if the violence had never happened. He untied the ropes around the girl's wrists, gently, carefully, like they were fragile, like they mattered. "You're safe now," he said softly. The younger one looked up, tears running down her face, her voice barely holding together. "Why did you help us?" The man paused. For a moment, the strong exterior cracked, revealing something buried deep inside. Pain, regret, memory. "Because once," he said slowly, "no one helped my family." The words hung in the air, heavy, final, impossible to ignore. The crowd stood frozen, realizing something they hadn't expected, something they couldn't understand. This wasn't just a man. This was a storm with a past, a storm with a purpose. And it had just arrived in Red Hollow. But what they didn't know, what no one could have guessed, was that Victor Kane was never the real threat. He was only the beginning, only a shadow of something far worse, something already moving, already watching, already coming. That night, the town didn't sleep. Not a single soul closed their eyes. Fear had changed shape. It wasn't just Victor anymore. It was something unknown, something bigger. Doors were locked, windows covered. Whispers spread like wildfire through the streets. Every shadow felt alive. Every sound felt like a warning. The stranger sat alone outside, sharpening his blade slowly, the metallic sound cutting through the silence like a quiet signal. He wasn't surprised. He wasn't afraid. He was waiting, because deep down, he knew. Storms don't end this quickly. They grow, they return, they destroy everything in their path. The wind picked up slightly, carrying dust across the empty road. The ground shook. A massive explosion ripped through the far end of the town, flames rising into the night sky, lighting everything in a violent orange glow. People screamed. Panic spread instantly. Chaos took control. Horses broke free. Doors slammed open. Voices overlapped in fear and confusion. And then they appeared, riders, dozens of them, moving in formation, fast, precise, unstoppable. Their presence alone changed the air. Heavier, darker, colder. At the front, a figure dressed in black, sitting perfectly still on his horse, wearing a skull-like mask that hid his identity, but revealed his purpose, control, power, fear. The riders surrounded the town within seconds, cutting off every escape, every hope. The masked man dismounted slowly, his boots touching the ground with quiet authority, like someone who didn't need to prove anything. He looked around calmly, observing the destruction, the fear, the silence, then began to clap slowly. "Impressive," he said, his voice calm, controlled, almost amused. His gaze locked onto the stranger. "You cleaned up my little problem."